guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're doing a what have I watched this month video. Yes, the first one. I'm actually doing this now. Instead of doing my reviews, I'm going to wrap it up in one video of all of the movies that I have watched during January. I'm tracking this on my Letterboxd. I have a Letterboxd account if you are interested. It is just Movies with James, and I use Letterboxd religiously to track my movies. So if you're somebody that wants to follow along, follow me on Letterboxd, and you get to see all the reviews and the scores of my movies as and when I review them and see them live. So yeah. So if we go back into the diary then, into January on here, really good month, to be honest. I'm going to go through in order of when I saw them. Now, I have done shorts for my reviews. That is something that I'm doing now on the channel instead of doing actually dedicated movie review videos. So you may have seen the short of this, but this is just basically a wrap-up video of every single film I've watched this month. First one I watched then on January the 3rd was Nosferatu, and I gave it a 3.5 star. Watched this in the cinema in Cineworld. I thought it was okay, to be honest. Really interesting. Good concept. Obviously, you know, Dracula's mansion, the fact that Nicholas Hoult had to turn up there, you know, as like an estate agent kind of thing, paying, like, looking for Dracula's rent. So yeah, it was a really interesting movie from that aspect. However, I gave it a 3.5 star. It was okay. I felt for me it was a bit like one-time watchy. Definitely a really spooky movie, really creepy movie, and some really good performances in there, especially from I think it's Bill Skarsgård. But for me, the standout person in the film was Lily Rose Depp. I think she was really good in the film. I think she was fantastic in the role that she played, and she really, like, you know, got into the role of being this possessed person who was possessed by Dracula. Very good movie, but not as good as some of the other Robert Eggers movies that we love, of course. But that was the first one of the month that I watched. Then I actually watched A Real Pain. This is the Kieran Culkin movie, starring Kieran Culkin, sorry, and Jesse Eisenberg. And it's directed, of course, by Jesse Eisenberg as well. Has been nominated for a couple of Oscars, I believe, as well. I gave it a 3.5 star. I thought it was all right. I felt like it was a little bit of a comedy, trying to, you know, in the time period that it was in terms of, not so much time period rather, but more the topics they were discussing. You know, they were two Jewish boys that were from America, and they were going over to Poland. Very, you know, difficult topic to discuss and have a bit of a comedy, lightheartedness approach. I found that aspect a little bit difficult to watch, but it doesn't mean to say it wasn't bad. You know, 3.5 stars, still a good score, and I think some of the performances are really good. I thought Kieran Culkin was really good in the film, and as I say, I think he's the one nominated for the Oscar, and hopefully, to be honest, hopefully he gets it, because I think he did good. So yeah, on the same day then, I also watched the new Wallace and Gromit movie. Now, this came out in the UK on Christmas Day, so this is Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul. I actually didn't watch this on Christmas Day because I saw the news that it was coming on Netflix early January. Decided to wait because I thought, yeah, BBC won't support Dolby Atmos, Dolby Vision, will they? So I'll watch it on Netflix. Go to do that, and it's not on Netflix because it's still on BBC in the UK. It's on Netflix internationally. So I had to then go back to BBC iPlayer. So I could have watched it Christmas Day, really, but I didn't. But I wanted to watch in the best quality I could, was what my reasons for postponing it. I gave it a 4 star. I thought it was pretty good, to be honest. You know, the stop motion animation market, I guess, is really dried up, and it's really dominated, I guess, at the same time by, you know, Aardman. They do produce quality stuff. I thought it was pretty good, you know, pretty good, really good animation film. Very difficult to recommend it to kids, though. I always just think Wallace and Gromit was kids, but I wouldn't really say it's based for kids, to be honest. It's I'd say family movie, so it does apply to all ages, but it has a different style to it, doesn't it? You know, seeing the fingerprints of all of the, like, sculptors and animators, I guess, you know, it's really interesting. On then the 11th of January, I actually watched then Maria. I gave Maria a 3 star. This is the biopic movie of Maria Callas, who is, well, according to Letterboxd, the world's greatest opera singer. She lives the last days of her life in 1970s Paris as she confronts her identity and life. Played by Angelina Jolie. I thought Angelina Jolie completely stole the show in this movie, in my opinion. I thought she was fantastic. One of the best performances in a biopic movie, but then not one of the best biopic movies ever made. You know, it was very uninspiring, very uncreative. But some real nice style choices by the director and cinematographer and the camera people. Really nice, like, you know, aesthetically made movie, as I said, from 1970s Paris. It gave that vibe of, you know, film grain and all of that. Really nice film to watch, to be honest. I gave it a 3-star, but just the topic, maybe the character of Maria Callas wasn't very interesting. And I was in the cinema with some old ladies. So yeah, the target audience probably wasn't me for that one. But Angelina Jolie, as I say, gave a fantastic performance. This is new for me then. So next one on the 12th of January. This is something I actually watched on Disney Plus, and this is something that I wouldn't have spoke about on the channel before, but doing this type of video now I will. This is the Elton John Never Too Late documentary that I watched on Disney Plus. I believe it came out towards the end of last year, maybe mid-December, and I've just taken a while to get to watch it. I thought it was a little bit same, especially after watching other documentaries. Like I watched the John Williams documentary recently. That is a million times better than this. It just told a lot of the story that we know. There was nothing really new in there, and there was, you know, some nice stories, I guess, from Elton himself, but the documentary itself was just quite a filler one. So I gave it a 3.5 star in my letterbox. It wasn't much amazingness about it, but still a good documentary, but just nothing, you know, nothing to the levels of as I saw with like the John Williams documentary I watched. This is probably the last ever review that I'm ever going to do on the channel, and this was on the 19th of January. I went to see A Complete Unknown. This is the Bob Dylan biopic movie, which has been nominated for Oscars. Timothée Chalamet for the lead role. I think James Mangold's in there. Yeah, as I say, biopic movie for Bob Dylan. Good performance from Chalamet, to be honest. I think he did really well. I thought the beginning of the movie was way better than the end of the movie. I think it progressively just got a bit slower and the story maybe dried up a little bit. I gave it a 3-star. I felt like it was something I'd watch, you know, once, but then when it comes out on 4K, I probably will give it a go, pick it up and give it another watch. On the 20th then, I actually did a short of this one. This is Baby Girl. This is the new Nicole Kidman movie. Really, really interesting film. Very much did remind me of Anora in terms of the creativity. There was a lot of good lighting in there. The music was fantastic. It was A24, just had a real good edginess to it. And Nicole Kidman really played a good role in it. She did play a similar role in a movie that was a Netflix release mid last year in terms of Family Affair, but that was like a comedy side of being an older woman who fancies a younger guy. And in this one, this is not really comedy. This is more, you know, a bit edginess, I guess. It felt independent. It felt really small budgeted. But I gave it a 4-star. For me, fantastic. I really enjoyed it, loved it, and I will watch it again. So Baby Girl there for me was one of my star movies, I'd say, of January. 5 days later then, I went to go and see Flight Risk in cinema. This is the new Mark Wahlberg movie, who's playing this pilot who is actually like got a different identity, and he wants to jeopardize this marshal who's transporting this like prisoner or witness across the country to testify, obviously, for this case. But Mark Wahlberg is working for the guy who I guess the witness is testifying against and wants to kill and jeopardize this this transport, of course. I gave it a 2.5 star. Very short movie, but did give like a lot of like TV movie vibes. CGI was pretty bad as well, and there wasn't very many amazing moments in the script, in my opinion. Flight Risk was directed by Mel Gibson and also starring Michelle Dockery, obviously alongside Mark Wahlberg and Topher Grace. So a pretty decent cast, but for me, as I said, very much felt like a TV film. If you get the chance to watch this on Netflix in the future or something, do that. Don't pay and go and see it in the cinema, in my opinion. It was one of those. After that then, I will probably say this is probably my biggest surprise of the month. I went to see Wolfman. This came out, as I say, early January. It's basically about this guy who, you know, he turns into a wolf. He has to go back to this rural, like, woodland area where his dad lived in this, like, cottage thing on his own. And he has to go back to sort it out because his dad has passed away and is passed. So he has to go back, leave New York City, take his family back, go and sort out the belongings, sort out the house and all of that. In doing so, though, he literally turns into a wolf, and the story begins, really. He turns into a wolfman. I actually said that I think this would have been a really good concept for a TV show, could have explored more of the change and the whole transformation from, you know, human into wolfman, but also a very interesting concept and one that I would definitely watch again. I don't think we're going to get a 4K release of it in the UK, potentially, because it's very low budget and very small, but hopefully we do, because I think I definitely will watch it again and pick it up and have it in my collection. As I say, I thought it was pretty decent. Some of the performances were okay, and some of the deaths were also really, really good. So Wolfman, I gave a 3 stars. star. And then the day after that, I went to go and see Saturday Night. This is I guess the first like 70 minutes before Saturday Night Live, the SNL TV show that everyone watches nowadays, went live. The first ever one. The troubles, the things that went right, the things that went wrong. Really interesting concept. Reminded me of the morning show that I've seen on Apple TV Plus. Obviously more of like a TV network based show and how things work behind the scenes. Gave it a 3.5 star. It just missed that like little bit of oomph for me in terms of making it a 4. Just didn't really give me, an amazing feeling when watching it. There was 2 like big stars in there. J.K. Simmons was in there as well as William Dafoe, but there was no real big actor in there for me that I knew that well anyways in the film. I thought it was okay. I think there's better things out there, like more creative things, this month, like Baby Girl, for instance, as I've said. But yeah, Saturday Night just missed a little bit of something for me and probably was more of a one-time watch. And then the final 2 movies then, on the 31st of January, I went to go and see The Brutalist, obviously the 3.5 hour long movie. I actually documented that in a cinema vlog on the channel. But I went to go and see it. There's an intermission in there, 20 minutes in. Yeah, basically it was a long movie, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, it was very interesting, very, good concept. Obviously been nominated for tons of Oscars. I think it's been nominated for 10 or something Oscars. I don't think it's going to win that many though, to be honest. I do think the nominations are well deserved. My only criticism with this movie basically for me was the fact that the performances for me were just okay. I don't really see where these amazing performances that these like actors have been nominated for. Adrien Brody was okay. Also Felicity Jones was nominated and she was better. I think she was good and I can see the nomination. But Adrien Brody I thought was just an okay performance. There was nothing really standoutish there. I think there's other nominees that I think are better nominated for that award nomination. But The Brutalist overall gave it a 3.5 star. Similar to Saturday Night, really missed that a little bit for me to make it a 4. Maybe it was the length of time and all of that, but just missed that something. And then finally, I went to go and see Companion. Companion is the new robot-y kind of movie where people basically get this robot to be their companion, their basically girlfriend or boyfriend. And we saw Iris, who was this robot that she genuinely believed that she was a real person. Iris was played by Sophie Thatcher. I thought she was really, really good. Jack Quiet is in the movie, who is playing Josh, and he's in like the new Scream movies and stuff like that. But yeah, really interesting film. I thought like the first half hour, for it being a 90-minute movie, the first 30 minutes was really filler, and you can't really have that much filler when you've only got 3 acts and 3 half an hours in the film. So I felt like maybe that half an hour was a bit too long, and then the hour ultimately just felt a bit squashed. So yeah, that was my only criticism of the film really, was maybe the timings and the weighting, I guess, of where the movie sits from one end to the other just didn't seem like seamless, I suppose. But yeah, there it is. There is my watched in January. I actually managed to watch 12 movies, none of which were Blu-rays or anything. There was like Elton John from streaming, of course, and Wallace and Gromit from streaming, but all the rest were in the cinema. I have already watched in February now 2 Blu-rays, and I do aim to actually bring some Blu-rays to these videos going forwards. Obviously try and get through some of the collection and update you guys on what I've seen. But yeah, there is what I've watched in January. Let me know if you've seen any similar movies to me, or the same, or you agree with my thoughts, or James, you're totally barking up the wrong tree. What are you talking about? Let me know down below. Thanks for watching though, guys. Stay tuned for more videos coming soon, and of course I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.